Welcome to Wrinkles Society of Hope. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you are returning, thank you so much for continuing to support Wrinkles. Today, you are going to hear an amazing story from one of our Wrinkles women. And if you would like, please hit subscribe and share our Wrinkles channel. Hit that notification bell so you can hear about the new stories that come forward. And we are also on Apple Podcasts and we are on Spotify. So you can listen in if you're unable to view the YouTube channel. I'm so happy you're here and I hope I get an interview with you. Hello, Wrinkles family. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to bring my friend. She was one of the people who brought us together, the ladies of Wisdom of the Silver Sisters. Never thought I could be a co-author. And she was one of those women who brought us all together for this amazing book. And so I'm going to have her introduce herself to the Wrinkles family.
Summer, thank you for having me. My name's Sharyn. G, middle name stands for Gail, and last name's Jordan. It's an honor to be here. And yes, co-authors of our Wisdom of Silver Sisters. You know, that book has the word evergreen with it. Mm-hmm. And it is evergreen. I get feedback. People will say, I picked up the book. I opened it to a story and it changed my world. It changed my day. It gave me the message I needed. There's so much there in terms of treasures. Absolutely. And your story, it's that courage to step up and to share because it does inspire others.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for coming today. I think I'm still in awe that I was actually in the book. And, I was the 42nd chapter of the book and it's still, I'm so proud of being a part of the book, but I feel like now I have a new sisterhood with you all.
Yeah. And the collaboration of women is so important. And I'm right there with you because what we did is we decided, my co-collaborator, I call her my partner in the sublime, not crime, but partner in sublime. Sandy and I decided that we would put everybody in with their first name alphabetized. So with my name Sharyn and your Summer, we're right together. And there's one other person in between us, but it's every story when someone just opens it up or if they want to read it cover to cover, there's something in there for everyone because it's such a slice of life book.
Mm-hmm. Definitely is still out there on Amazon, so definitely excited about
it. yes, absolutely. Yes. Oh my goodness, yeah, it's a wonderful one. We had the book signing at the Irish Cultural Center. Beautiful. Oh, I was so glad that you could come. It was beautiful, wasn't it?
It was so beautiful. It was just an amazing day. Such an amazing day. I'm just excited about all that we did, all the things that you're doing, and all the things to come. I really am.
Amen.
To that. Amen.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And we continue to go through life and we have, things that we go through, but how did you feel when life started changing and you noticed some physical changes happening?
One of the things, as far as like wrinkles, which is your topic, or like different kinds of things, I have never been the kind of person that has been, I thought it was great. I thought it was a sign of, isn't that interesting? A lot of my wrinkles are smile lines. It's because I smile a lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel, I just turned 74 in November and I've never felt like old. I've never been bored. There's just that creative fulfillment that you have when you are really living your purpose. Mm-hmm. And so I've been very fortunate to have businesses and have, because I do feng shui consulting and that's extremely rewarding. And I owned a preschool for 12 years, Rosebud Preschool. and while my children were young, and we owned movie theaters in the White Mountains, which was a lot of fun. We had 5 different locations. It was, from Winslow, Holbrook, Pine Top, Lakeside, and Cholo, and that was wonderful. So those were stories. So, and there's always been, and I grew up with a father that read to my sister and I every night. So story has always been something that I always felt like our life was this, whatever story we want to tell is what we're telling ourselves in the life we create. So this was just when I started seeing physical changes, and I just felt like, you know what, this is a new story. This is a new time. This is a new chapter. And I still, when I go into people's homes for feng shui, I look at their home as their memoir, because the things we surround ourselves with tells our story. And there's always that dialogue going on, with our stuff. It's always, and we want it to uplift us, and we want it to tell good stories,
Yes.
and then remind us of how far we've come, like those things we inherit, those people that our ancestors. So it's, to me, it's always just about the story. So being able to put together the wisdom of Silver Sisters, and then our latest book is the Golden Wisdom. It's silver wisdom and golden. It's the purpose. It's bringing people's stories to life. Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. And the fact that you say you lived like you was able to have your purpose. You were able to live in your purpose. So many people have like stunted themselves because of fear, or, I got to do this. I'm just going to stay here and be comfortable. But all the things that you got to do are still doing. I love it. I love it. That's true.
Thank you.
That's true joy. That is exciting.
I'm grateful. I'm deeply grateful, and I have 14 grandchildren and one brand new great granddaughter. My first great grand. She's almost 3 months old. So
love it.
Yeah,
love
really sweet.
Yeah,
it's wonderful. Yeah,
I love it. And through life, we have a story to tell. We go through stories in our lives that we have to press through sometime. Sometimes they become wrinkles that we have to press through. Can you tell a story about a wrinkle you had to press through?
Well, in 2 weeks, it will be the anniversary of my husband's passing of 11 years ago. And we were married 42 years. And excuse me. And that was a lot of, after all those years, that was a lot to go through in terms of finding out who really I was after it was the two of us for all those years. So I would say that was and when those loved ones do leave us, I had a son that passed, I had a grandson that passed. So I would say those wrinkles, Summer, would be learning to respect their journey and learning every single day to give. That's why I love the stories, because creating the stories of those that are still with us. So I think that the wrinkle would be plural, and it's of those times that I've had to kind of cope with grief, go from that bridge of sorrow to an understanding. And again, as I said, honor their journey, but along the way, deepen my journey in terms of how I am always present for people, and especially those I love. So that would have been, that's really an opportunity. And so those are things that I learned to cope with. Doesn't mean you don't have a pocket of sorrow every now and then. A song will come up, or this will come up. But it's been very interesting. But again, it's who we people our life with, of whom we become. So I've been very fortunate to have people like yourself, the sisters, the Silver Sisters, to really be surrounded by people that are living their purpose, that have not. And I think every day that we have to maybe step into that purpose and really understand that we have this day, and every choice we make opens up that door even more for us. So a lot of the self-talk, a lot of the showing up, being seen, and just being courageous goes along with it, and being vulnerable at the same time. All of those things.
Yes, so true. And the thing is that we grieve every person differently. Every person that we lose, we grieve them differently.
Yeah.
42 years, that's a long time.
It is.
What would you tell yourself looking back on that wrinkle? What would you tell yourself that you know today what would you give advice would you give yourself?
This too will be a time that you'll always cherish because it's a different chapter, but there's always that honoring of the fact that I was always fully present in our marriage, always every part of me. Of course, we learn how to give more and more, but I cherish that and continue to keep going. You don't really move on, you move through. And those are the things that sometimes you're moving under and sometimes around, but there's that part that you always know that you're creating not so much a new life, but it's different, and to have that appreciation for how it brought you to where you are. And one thing I would say to myself, and I say this all the time, I've been really grateful, which I know you share this, that capacity to love, the true capacity to love. I don't carry grudges. I just, why would you over petty stuff? So those are the things that I would say continue loving. And that was an opportunity to continue loving, and in just a different way. Mm-hmm.
I love it. Continue to love. Love is medicine. Love is so much to get you through, even in a tough time. It's just love can bring you so much peace. It really can.
Yes. And never, in other words, also being available and self-love, and forgiveness. I think that's a big, and trusting. So those are those values that when we go through and we have that just intuitiveness, and that's very much how we're hardwired, it changes everything. It truly creates the story that we can tell our grandchildren, or we can, and then they see us living this story, our children. Mm-hmm.
So true. So true. And as you go to the story of today, and let's say you got a shirt made, and it was a representative of the woman that you are today, what would that shirt say?
Be inspired. Because I think inspired, very much the word comes from spirit. It comes from that sense of always being connected, and love is intrinsic in that. That for spiritual grace. And dwell, I'd probably have a lot of words. I'm a wordsmith, so it would be definitely. But I think be inspired. I actually had one of my feng shui workshops. On the back of it, it said "Be inspired." And then my website is fengshuisimplified.com, and the screen, the guy that did the screen print for me, instead of putting a .com, and he said Feng Shui Simplified, and put a comma. And I didn't see it on the proof, and so when it came out on this T-shirt, I'll send you a picture of it later. It says, and then I did like a fun thing. Instead of Sharyn, I did serendipity. It was a fun, whimsical workshop, and everybody's in these red, gorgeous T-shirts, and so Be Inspired was on the back. And I saw this mistake, and I said, "Oh my goodness!" It says, and one of my friends said, "Well, wouldn't you rather be a comma in the universe than a dot?" I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please. So, comma.
Right. And so lean into those mistakes. Lean into them, embrace them. Those setbacks aren't setbacks; they're scenic routes. We might have to park some things from time to time.
Yes.
But it's okay. It's okay. When we come back to it, we'll have more wisdom, whatever it might be, and just celebrate. Those are things. And not every day is fabulous. Like you said, you live your truth, and I do that. Mm-hmm. But I do work on the fact that life is remarkable. I am in awe of it. I am just coming from this place of such gratitude. So yeah, and so gratitude to be in there too.
Yes, exactly. I see it all. I see the comma. I see the be inspired. Gratitude. I just see it all.
Right?
Yes, it makes me happy. It makes me want to get up and move and do something. I love every bit of it.
Yes.
I know you are in this world right now doing so many things. So tell us all the great things. I know the new book just came out. I had to have you here. Being a Silver Sister, I know that this book is just as amazing. So tell us so much about everything that you're doing.
Well, the golden wisdom of love, legacy, or legends and legacy came out in November, and we just had the book signing. So it was like ours. It was a celebration, and the authors, just like our sisters, these stories that they tell. And this book has a word with it, a perpetuity. And so I'm just wrapped this up, and I'm starting February 18th. In fact, my website's getting changed up finally because I had to park. Didn't have as much bandwidth as I thought I could pull off a class I've been teaching privately for years about writing. And I've merged feng shui with the 5 elements, which are wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, and how that helps us as far as nature and as far as writing, how that it helps us write and tell those stories of our life and our home. So I had parked that for a while to finish this book and to collaborate with that and finish. It was a beautiful project. So February 18th, what I'm doing is I'm teaching it, and it's birthing, whether it's a business, whether it's a blog, whether it's a book, or whether it's a baby, whatever that baby is for you, that project, so that they have purpose in it. The culmination will be then a chapter in the Guiding Grace 3, which will be a storyteller, version of the books we've been doing, the compilation. And I'm very excited about that. That it's because I love to teach, and it gives some fundamentals on basics. And that chapter, as you know, that experience launches then your own book, or it's that validation, it's your truth. And it also is something that somebody didn't know about you, to share that. So it's definitely the central theme is write that story, become that writerly. And there's a practice you could do, and it's very, very simple. So that starts on February 18th. And hopefully by tomorrow, I'll have do you remember Chelsea, our purple-haired Chelsea? Yes. Her husband, Travis, who was in this book, is in this book. He's my webmaster. So he's finishing up that site to reflect a lot of the different dates and everything. So yeah, I'm very pleased about that, and very grateful. So yes.
Awesome. Well, we want to promote that February 18th. That'd be amazing. How can people buy the book, and how do they follow you? How do they get to your website?
Yes. My website, and I'll send you these links. Because there's 2 different links that are Amazon link for both, like you said, that books are on, and it's fengshuisimplified.com. I'll send you that link, and I'm actually Sharyn it's SHARYNG Jordan, and I love Facebook. I'm very active. I love the engagement, and what I love about it is and you probably the same way. We moved to Arizona in 1974, but I'm still in touch with friends from kindergarten. So when I sometimes post or someone I went to 1st grade with or 6th grade with, or so it's people that I know, and of course we meet so many new people too. So I love the engagement and the support and that cheerleading, being able to edify and like go girl, because you just had a new grandbaby, or your son's graduating, or look, they just want to ball. And to me, it's a wonderful place to be. I have not had a negative. I know there's lots out there. I just keep scrolling. And if something pops up, because in my world, it's really, we create our lives. We do co-create those with our heart and our thoughts and where our purpose is. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. It's definitely a place to really cheer on somebody. It's good to see people are doing positive things, and knowing that people are championing through so many things sometimes.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I love seeing your posts and your grandbabies and things like that. I love it. And this book, how many chapters was this book?
This was 40.
Okay.
This was 40. We had 36 authors, and we did something a little differently. We did a storyteller's homage, and what we did, Summer, at the very end of the book, we asked 4 published authors to give us a page. One was Barbara Newman, who's written, I'll get you her book. I want to give her some props, The Dreamcatcher's Code. And it's brilliant. It's wonderful. And so we're doing a book club on her, but she joined that homage to talk about what inspired her for her book. Then Jody, I don't have a copy of Jody's book, but she writes about angels, and she's the same age I am, and this is her 7th book, I think, on angels, and they all live in a fictional place called Mystic Bay, and they're angels that are people, and people don't know they're angels. It's a wonderful concept. In fact, her one of her characters is this last book, which was actually coming out next month, and her character is a meteorologist, and she named her after me. My middle name's Gail, and she named her, which is the wind, and so it's Gale Force is the character's name.
I love that. There's got to be
a lot of fun. And so Jody was in there, and then another lady named Judith Manganiello, and who loves to give hugs. She was in our first book, Judith.
Yeah.
You might remember her.
Mm-hmm.
And then Christina Whitehawk. So we did this homage, and it was interesting because they're all published in their own field, and they were delighted to be a part of that. So that was lovely. Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. I have the book on my phone, on my Kindle, so I can.
Oh, good, wonderful.
But I've been starting to read it, and it's amazing. Everybody,
thank you.
I just love it. I just love it. And you can feel the love in the book already.
Yes, you can, and that is the highest frequency, is love. When that vibrates and you're in that state, that is something that's life-changing. When you can stay in that, changes your perception. It lifts your heart. It's heart healthy. And it is something that truly goes before us and blesses those that are around us, and then blesses us so that we can be the blessing.
Yes. Well, I am so excited that you came today. Do you have anything else to add?
No, this is so wonderful, and your beautiful shining face, and like I shared with you, you're such an inspiration. And those are things that everyday heroes of who you are. And that makes a huge difference. And thank you for lighting up this world with your luminosity. I'm just so grateful for you. Thank you. Thank you, Summer.
You have, since I met you, you've been a light as well. So I'm so happy that you are able to come so everybody else can see your light. And I know that we're going to continue to be friends and do more things together. I can't wait.
Oh, yes. We're going to be that. In fact, the build out on the community by this next summer, there's some really good things that are on the drawing board.
Well, draw me in.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Well, I thank you so much for coming, and we love you, Wrinkles. Go get the book. Get both books. If you haven't got the first one, you will be blessed and inspired by these women and their stories. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you. And to be continued.
To be continued, for sure. Bye, Wrinkles.